Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Navdat Chandok, the founder of this club called Professional Risk Investor Group of Canada. I started this club in April 2005, conducting monthly networking meeting ever since. We never missed a meeting. Consistency is the name of the game, and I'm sure you are all aware of it. Tonight, we're going to have top three notch speakers, perhaps the fourth one as well, as we wait. First and foremost, Happy New Year. I hope you guys are ready to do all the fun stuff tonight. So a lot of information tonight. I want you to keep your cameras or pens handy because there'll be a lot of very pertinent information will be available to you. Brand new laws, brand new opportunities, by the way. Very exciting time for investors to be investing in this Canadian real estate though. Just to let you know that this is gonna be this is going to be the most exciting time. Those who have joined Real Estate Club, some of you may or may not be aware, even a one little piece of information is worth a lot more than what you're aware, and you need to be connected. Who do you know? What do you know is going to make a big difference? And what do you know is going to make a big difference in the business of real estate? This business is not to just go solo. This is business to connect with people, whether it's joint ventures, whether it's a fractional ownership, whether you want to learn something, new ideas. The more you know, the better you become. Make sure if you want to multiply your net worth, networking is the name of the game. There will be a new video coming soon about the secrets of multimillionaires and certain secrets they don't disclose to anybody and the things they don't want you to know. So that's going to be coming soon in February. And some of you will be getting those copies at the same time, though. Every meeting will be held every second Tuesday, as I said, and you will be invited to attend. All the dates and timings have been given to you ahead of the time. Our membership is only $349 plus HST. It is an incredible value to share your deals, joint ventures, wholesale deal, private hard-money lenders, partners, new strategies. And trust me, we have top-notch several speakers who are well known around the country. They are incredible people, and you got opportunity to listen to them. Incredible, absolutely incredible. Even they share 2 minutes of their wisdom is priceless. That is my opinion. What is yours? You can share if you like. Something written about due diligence. A lot of people are getting burned, not realizing it, that you need to have a proper experts in your side, entourage of good experts in your side if you want to be successful. One mistake is too many. A lot of people are realizing it in 2023. All those mistakes going to cost them a fortune. Here comes the wave. Foreclosures, power sales. As a matter of fact, one of the CEO of one of the largest banks in Canada made a statement that there will be hundreds and thousands of people going to be facing power sale in Ontario and foreclosures across Canada. Are you ready for it? Would you be able to help those Canadians? Would you like to make some money? Is that okay that we do two things? Some money on the side. It can be done, it can be achieved. And that's the most incredible thing you can do in this market. This market is full of opportunities. People are gonna have we call crybaby syndrome. On the other hand, if you have proper knowledge, information, contacts, time to make some serious amount of money and get the best deals. Tonight, I promise to share one strategy with you, which some of you are going to say, oh my Lord, would that be okay? Here is something we all need to know exactly where we are, where we're heading, and where we need to be aware. The growing debt burden for Canadians. Just to take a quick picture if you like. Our burden is 86% in Ontario. If you look around carefully, Alberta has a lot less, which is almost like half of it. Compared to Nova Scotia, it's 93%. Again, This information is just to be aware. You are not the only one who is carrying the burden of a debt. So here is some good news and some really good news. Toronto ranked as one of the wealthiest cities by millionaires. What are they saying? Talking about quality of life, healthcare, education, safety? Questionable. Despite the skyrocketing rents and home prices. If you agree or you don't agree, you're welcome to express your opinion. Here's something you must do in this market. If you're investing yourself, excellent. You're a solo, perfect. Partnership, great. Do your proper due diligence on your partner. How do you do that? We'll teach you. It's not just meeting a nice face and saying, hello, hello, you look good, I look good. But you never know what other persons have liabilities. I'm talking about the secret stuff they will never tell unless you start doing the digging yourself. So here is some strategy I'd like to share with you before you get you guys too excited. I have made a video out of it. It's called Stink Bids, Stinky Offers. Anybody interested to learn more about stinky offers? There's a humongous amount of money to be made in this market. Do you remember those days when a realtor listed property for $1 million and say sold over asking price? Just reverse that and say sold under the asking price by 100,000 or 500,000. That's a stinky offer. How does it work? It's exciting, actually. What you need to do is you can talk to local realtors, and there are people who need to sell, and they're still stuck on February 2022 prices, hoping I can get my price. Hey, by the way, market have crashed. Those who have never heard the terminology called crash, real estate crash is the crash when the market value dropped by 20% or more. One more time, market crash is when market value dropped by more than 20%. There are a few markets have dropped, I'll share with you. When the market starts crashing, it has a ripple effect. It's contagious. Bad news is the only news in town, always. One more time, news is always bad news. There's no such thing as good news. So those who are in the market trying to sell the property, if they have been in the market for once, twice, 3 times, expired listings, talk to the realtor and say, listen, hey, I got an investor and he's cheap. He would like to make an offer and he may not gonna come back, but his offer gonna be way, way too low. And before you even put anything in writing, get a verbal agreement with them. Would you accept 50 cents on a dollar? Would you do the VTB, owner financing at 0% for 5 years? Do you really need to sell? Again, all these things are in my video. Those who request it, you can text message me. I'll be happy to send you this video regardless. And what else comes the next? These opportunities are coming like never before. The next big thing is power season foreclosures. And under the pressure from all of you, yes, I will do one day live training in person in Ontario that it'll be catered mostly towards real estate lawyers, mortgage brokers, realtors, and investors. We're going to have a small class and it'll be one day training, which will walk you through the whole process, the different strategies, the law. Can you charge 3 months penalty when somebody defaults? What are the laws? How to get out if you're deep in the water. And this thing will be in class possibly very soon. We have too much need request and trying to figure it out how to do it. Canadian economy is booming. That's not a good news. What does that mean? That means potential rate for hike rate. Rates have to go up. We're only supposed to add about 5,000 jobs in Canada. We end up about 104,000 jobs. Yike. It's not a good thing for investors because interest rate is going to go up. They're trying to control the inflation and perhaps bring some other stuff, but I'm going to share some other news where some industries are losing billions of dollars. Billions of dollars. When you play, it's the time we all go through. This is a little scary thing. In BC and Ontario, the bankruptcies are up by 32% to 24%. In a way, there are some people who are stuck, have no way out, but they're rising. Be aware of it. Here's another good news. This is something we are not sure if we're going to have a recession, or we are in a recession, or we're going to come close to recession. All kind of things are not making sense. And then the vacancies we have, the amount of manpower Canada needs about 1.5 million people, brand new people to replace baby boomers like me, people who are born after Second World War. And every fourth Canadian is going to become senior in 2030. So now they're pushing it. Now we have a huge population coming in. We have short supply of real estate. Inflation is high. All these equations are brand new equations in this market. And we have to stay tuned and see how everything goes. Nobody ever thought the interest rate is going to go high as quickly as they did. As last year, I think it's the first time in history, and we have David Grossman who can enlighten us what happened. So here are the markets which have crashed. Kitchener-Waterloo crashed, Cambridge crashed, London crashed. What does that mean? A lot of people have negative equity now in these markets. They put 20% down, 10% down, 5% down. Now they are in deep water. Not only that, their mortgage payments are multiplied. The value is not there. So there's a different segment. It's called underwater properties. Shocking, but truthful. So here's another things where market have crashed. Oakville, Milton. Ever thought about that? Mississauga and Fraser Valley. Fraser Valley is in BC, by the way. Oakville, Milton property dropped by 478,000. Mississauga about 376,000. And also Toronto. These are facts, ladies and gentlemen, and we can bank on it. This is not the bad news. This is the facts. And based upon the facts, we can take action and move forward. So what are the greatest places to buy in Ontario? Thunder Bay, Sudbury, and Windsor. Why? Average house price in Thunder Bay is $338,000. Payment is about $1,675 per month, and you're going to be spending only 30% of your income. If you go to Sudbury, you'll be looking at a house for, they call it Nickel City Home or Nickel Belt of Canada. Average house price about $500,000. You spend about 40%. How about Windsor? Average house price $520,000. And this is how people are looking into moving away from the most expensive markets. Will the prices may drop in 2023? We will see. These are the projections. What happened in 2020, 21, 22, and let's see how far the market will adjust. Let the fact speak for itself, though. So who are the biggest multi-billionaire losers? I'm not going to say their names. These are Apple, Meta, Amazon, Alphabet, and Microsoft. How much money they lost? Elon Musk, I'm sorry, now is number 2 richest man compared to Bernard. Bernard is now number 1, and Gautam Adani is the 3rd richest man from India. they have taken a beating of their life in 2022. Well, just thought I should share with you. So the best investment you can make is invest in yourself. If you are not on the newsletter, please subscribe it quickly. And now we're going to talk about our special guest, David Grossman, and what were the interest rate in 1981 when I started my business, 22.75%. These were the rate for the first mortgage. And talking about the mortgages, these are the increments we had last year, about 7 of them. And this is important for you to know, and how the interest rates have gone up dramatically and how it has affected all of us. So what will be the mortgage forecast? David Grossman is going to tell us exactly what is happening, how we're going to do it, what are the current rates are. And there's some suggestion for all of you, or some of you, if you are in a situation where you got yourself into a bit of a pickle, your payment's a little higher, hey, talk to your lender. Can you turn into 40-year amortization? Can I make only interest payments only? Can I have a skip a payment clause or so on? Some of you are able to go through this by having some creative ideas. So here I'm going to bring our special guest, a brother from another mother, David Grossman. Are you there, sir?
Hi, Navtaj. Can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, good to be here. Happy New Year, Navtaj. Happy New Year, everybody, the panelists and all the attendees. It's nice to be here. Wishing everybody a successful 2023. So indeed, unusual times, as you've noted. We've never had sharp increases in such a short period of time the way we have in the last year, and it's not over yet. So very interesting week we've had. At the same time as there's talk about another increase coming up later in January, we've seen some sharp declines in the longer term rates. So it's confusing to some people. How can rates be going up and down at the same time? And the simple reason is that even though short-term rates and the prime rate is expected to go up again, it's now at 6.45. We are expecting that we're near the end of this. Typically through history, when rates hit their peak, they stay at their peak for around 4 months. Before they start to drop. And in this case, we think it's going to take longer. We do believe we're near the peak and that inflation should start coming down. It's been very stubborn, for sure, but we believe it's going to start coming down, and that probably close to the end of this year or early next year, 2024, we're going to see rates starting to come down. And currently, 5-year fixed rates are between 4.5% to 5%. I was dealing with a lender the other day on a reverse mortgage, and she advised me that she had just gotten a notice in that the rates were dropping on the 5-year. Rates were dropping like something like 0.75 of a point. So they did come down. So it's but do you lock in? Do you lock in now if you can get a rate for under 5%? Well, personally, I would not. I still believe in the short-term rates, and history has shown that long-term those will win out. But obviously, there's no guarantees, and you have to decide based on your budget and what allows you to sleep at night. If rates do go up further, how does that impact you personally? So variable rates now are around 5.5. So that's a fair premium to pay, let's say, compared with 4.75 on a 5-year fixed. Tempting to lock in if you can get in under 5%. But personally, I would ride it out, because I think in 1 to 2 years things are going to come back down, and things will level off. and subside. So that is basically what I wanted to say. Navtaj, you correctly pointed out that unemployment figures are down, employment is up, which is what's indicating to us that there is most likely going to be another increase, probably 0.25% increase later this month. If there's any good news, it's that wage growth is slowing. And it's, kind of ironic if you would ever think that there would be a time when you would say, oh no, there's too many jobs. Unemployment is disappearing. It's ironic and it's unusual. But this is the unique situation we're in. I think it's good if people are working. Absolutely, they'll be able to pay their mortgages, but certainly we need to cool the economy still. And the experts believe that we'll start seeing inflation coming down pretty soon. And that's my update for today, Navtash. Thanks for the opportunity. Are there any questions?
Yes, David, question for you. January 25th, do you think the rate's going to go up by 0.5 point, 0.25%, 1%?
We think it's going to go up 0.25% because we do think that we're near the end of this cycle, and some further increases required. But right now, we think it's going to be just a 0.25% increase.
Interesting. One more thing, just for the sake of it, did you hear any of the statement from RBC CEO about people defaulting and mortgages going in huge default?
Well, I didn't hear specifically from RBC, but I know that there are defaults and they are likely to get worse before they get better. So certainly for a group of sophisticated investors like you have here at the Professional Real Estate Investors Group, there are definitely going to be opportunities. So make sure that you've got your financing in order so that you can strike when the iron is hot and when you see that opportunity. So feel free to give me a call if you're out looking for deals and you want to know what's possible and how you can move quickly. We have lenders who can move quickly and to allow you to take advantage of opportunities when you find them.
Here's one final question for you. It came from one of the attendee here.
Yes.
Or one of the investor. If they are missing more than 2 payments, when do the bank start taking action?
Well, the banks can start taking action after 15 days if they want to. They're at that point they're required to give you a notice. They would file a statement of claim. They would give you, I think it's 30 days in which to remedy the situation. So there is time if you're a borrower or a homeowner. They can't pull the rug out from you that quickly, but would never advise somebody to get to that point. If you're in a sticky situation, you need to make plans before, because you don't want to be wasting your money paying for the lender's lawyer. It's enough you're going to have to pay for your own lawyer, plus penalties. And they will take advantage oftentimes and not make their life easier. So best to be proactive and do what you need to do so that you do not miss mortgage payments, don't have to pay late charges and other legal fees.
Thank you, David. Appreciate it, my friend. I want you to hang around. People will be asking a question directly on the question and answer period. Feel free to call them directly, please, at 416-876-2031. You can see it on the screen. David Grossman is the gentleman. His company is rockyourmortgage.ca or david@rockyourmortgage.ca. If you want to prefer to call him right now, you can call him up. He have to meet his family soon, but he will take a few questions on question and answer period.
Yeah, I'm just about to sit down with my dad for dinner, but by all means, call me, text me, email, and I'll be happy to assist you.
Thank you so much, David. Appreciate it, my friend.
Thank you
Good
very
night, sir.
much. Thank you, Nata.
All right. Next thing, we're going to talk about the taxes. New taxes coming in Canada. Oh my God, tax on top of the taxes. So it's just one of the things. I'm paying taxes on my wages, then paying sales tax to spend on my own money, income tax on the money that was already earned. Then I die, and then you pay taxes on the death. So we have one of the most sophisticated person, one of the investor at the same time, very well known, very well knowledgeable person who will talk about, hey, what happens to your taxes? How much average Canadian is paying taxes? Do we need to pay that much taxes? What can we do? What is exactly provincial government promised us and they did not keep the promise? I don't know if some of you remember that, but we do. If the promises were kept, again, these taxes are a little bit more sophisticated. And I like to also talk about tonight separating the dogs from the sleeping giants as well, to bring all information together. Let's welcome our special friend, Jerry Hogenhout. Jerry, are you there, my friend? Jerry, we can hear you.
Hey, Nat, can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear, my friend.
Awesome,
Thank you.
great. Yeah, thanks for inviting me again. And yeah, let's start with wishing everyone a happy new year. Great to be back. Great to have a nice break, but boy, it's great to get back into things. So thank you for inviting me. Thanks for having me. Yeah, doom and gloom. My God, geez. Thanks, Nav. You just told me how much I lost on my house in Toronto. David Grossman says the interest rates just keep going up. Oh my God. Okay. And I'm here to tell you the taxes are just going up too. So anyway, lots of doom and gloom. But anyway, there's always opportunities. So yeah, interesting topic tonight. Talk a little bit. Yeah, Nav is right. You know, we were promised in Ontario that we would be a more tax-friendly province. Well, that's a lie. And as the chart shows, we are now the third highest province. Our top bracket is now 53.53%. So more than half of our money, once we start making some decent money, gets sent to the government, both province and federal. I mean, that's ridiculous. Who's the highest province? It happens to be Newfoundland and Labrador, 54.80. Crazy. Nova Scotia, that's 54% too. So all these provinces, I mean, they're all at 50+%. Alberta, I'll do a shout out to Alberta. They're the lowest province, 48%. Okay, so there's a lot of activity in Alberta to try to promote people to go west. And, you know, we're all real estate investors. And I've done that. I've you know, redirected my investment strategies to west. Why? Well, just low taxes, number one, no land transfer tax, no rent controls, very friendly landlord rules. So plus you got the Rocky Mountains next door. So anyway, from a tax perspective, yeah, Ontario is getting very expensive. You know, I mean, that's just our income tax rates. I mean, last week we saw the city of Toronto, you know, I forget the exact amount, just an enormous amount to their municipal budget for more police, more first responders. Not saying we don't need them, but boy, we need to be fiscally responsible. We saw the provincial government trying to eliminate development charges. And it's always nice to reduce taxes and charges, but hey, those that understand what's going on, it's just going to add to our property tax bill. So another concern in Ontario, as we've seen, is our property taxes will probably take a nice hike as well in the very near future, certainly if you live in the Toronto area, where I do. So anyway, but anyway, it is what it is. You know, the other thing is, even though the tax brackets, you know, it goes up, we also have to understand that we can earn income in different ways. Dividends, okay, they're taxed cheaper. Capital gains, they're taxed cheaper. Return of capital, okay, those type of investments. There's zero tax on those. So there's many different types of income that we earn that are taxed at different brackets. But again, at the high rate, if you're lucky enough to make a lot of money, you're going to pay 53.5%, which is all the more reason to try to channel your income, if you can, through a corporation. A corporation pays 12% tax on its first $500,000 of active income. So again, tax planning, tax strategy, that's certainly a part of keeping our taxes down. This next slide, now that's an interesting one, because we've seen that too many times. So we call that what's called net worth assessment. And what CRA does is when we file tax returns, it's kind of interesting. When we file corporate tax returns, we have to file both a balance sheet, which is a listing of your assets and liabilities, along with the income statement, which is a listing of your income and expenses. That's for corporate tax reasons. When we file a personal tax returns, they don't ask us anything about our assets. We have to document on the personal tax return our income and expenses. So interestingly enough, we don't really tell them about our assets on our personal tax return. Now, if they do an audit and they find there's a problem with the correlation between the assets we have and the income we report, they do what's called a net worth assessment. And basically what they do is they go, well, we think that based on the assets you have, you should have made this much money in the past years. And I've seen it many times. They just literally issue a notice of reassessment. And they say, we think you've made this much money in the past whatever period of time. And there's your notice of assessment telling them, telling you, CRA telling you that you owe them 53.3% of this new assessment that they think that you've earned over those years. And now you got to fight it out. So you have to be careful. That there's your tax return has to support your lifestyle, and that's an important thing. So even though we try to be as creative and try to reduce income as much as we can for clients, we do have to respect that there has to be a correlation between the income that they report and the lifestyle and the assets that they have. So that's always an interesting part. And it gets a lot of people that have disparity in these correlations. It seems like they have gathered assets from areas that CRA doesn't know about. So be it the underground economy, crypto now. I mean, that's another one. I mean, that's not even illegal. You can trade in crypto. You can make a fortune in crypto. And you see what, I had a client recently, the parent told me to go talk to their young kid who is in the basement on their computer. And I'm just, their young kid was 16 years old. I went to talk to this kid. He had $2 million in cryptocurrency. I mean, just mind-boggling. So this is happening. This is happening a lot. Now, that same type of child can lose the $2 million right away, but their perspective on money is so distorted. It's scary what a 16-year-old kid who has $2 million in cryptocurrency, who really doesn't know how to write a check or deal with a debit card. In fact, this kid went down to Miami, and I guess the social circle there, he's telling me nobody uses cash, nobody uses debit card, nobody uses credit card. They go to the restaurant, it's crypto. They get a taxi, it's crypto. Everything is crypto, and none of this stuff is reported to CRA yet. So there's somebody that's, one day going to run into this type of thing where their lifestyle and their assets do not match their income that they report. So anyway, just, in closing, just remember your tax return has to have a correlation to the lifestyle that you lead. And we really see this more in extreme cases. We don't really see, for lack of better words, the people that find themselves in these positions usually deserve it. So I wouldn't really be fearful. Just understand that your tax return, there's a correlation to your lifestyle for that. So anyway, glad to take any questions. Nav, as always, I can't thank you enough. And once again, I can't agree more with your opening remarks about your network, how important it is to join these type of groups, to have mentorship from people like yourself. Your net worth is your network, and none of us can do this stuff alone. We get so much value out of talking to people. Everybody brings something to the table, be it experience, knowledge, connections, networking. So Nav, again, thanks a lot. Again, Happy New Year to everybody. I'll hang around for the evening as I always do. I love these sessions and enjoy listening to what other people have to say. So
Thank you very much, Jerry. Jerry's gonna, any question you have for Jerry, you can call him directly, or you can put your questions in Q&A question right now. He'll be happy to answer every question for you live. Just feel free, as long as these questions are something to do generic. If something very specific about yourself, please call him up, set up an appointment, and then take it from there. Now, moving forward, our gentleman friend Rory Sheehan, one of the best-selling author, 5-time winner, is not available tonight, but just like anything else, got other commitments. So it's something I like to talk about just gently, about rising rates, falling sales, what's happening in the pre-construction condos, what is going to happen. The appraisals are coming way too low. And so what's going to happen to those people who bought the condos in 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, whatever, and what exactly going to happen where the opportunities rises. We're going to bring our expert, Randy Goodman, my sister from another mother, Igal Kalf. She is going to be enlightening us, hey, what happened to Toronto sales? What happened to the prices? And what is this slump is going to be doing to us? And if you look at it very carefully at the chart, what happened to prices and what can we expect? So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a nice and warm welcome to Randy Goodman. Randy, are you there, my friend?
I am. If you give me permission, I will put my video on.
Would you please go ahead? As long as, if you can turn your cameras on, that'll be perfect, Randy.
Yeah, it says I can't because the host has stopped it.
Oh, I will try one more time. Whatever I know, I will see if I could have your camera on. Go ahead, Randy. I'm trying myself here.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so Happy New Year, everybody. You're going to get Happy New Year'd out today. And thank you, Navtaj, again, and welcome everybody, especially if it's your first time here. Great information shared already, and I'm going to add some more to that. So I have a few things to mention. So the Barrie District Association of Realtors and TREB have announced that they are working together. And if you didn't know, TREB has not worked with the other boards in Ontario. So if you're working with a realtor who's local in the GTA and works off TREB, in order for them to have access to, say, Barrie property, I mean, we get some Barrie on Toronto, but we don't get all of them. Or if they want to see Niagara, or they want to see Kingston, or outside of the GTA, they'll get some because some of the realtors will list on TREB, but you're not getting the whole picture and you're not getting access to all the information. So they either have to look on some of the sites that you guys look on, or they have to pay into these services in order to have access, which I do. So and very excited to know that they're going to work together and we won't have to be paying double to have access, but also it benefits you as the investor or the purchaser in that you get to have your realtor have access to everything when most of them will not pay into these multiple other associations in order to have access. So it's really good news across the board. So I'm excited about it, and any other realtors on here will know what I'm talking about. Okay, another point I want to bring up is there is the new vacant home tax that's being implemented right now. So it's an annual tax that will be levied on vacant Toronto residences payable starting 2023. So very shortly, I believe February. So it's a property is considered vacant if it's not used for a total of 6 months or more during the previous calendar year. So if you didn't use your property for 6 months or more in 2022, you would have to pay 1% of the value in 2023. So it may also be deemed vacant if the owner does not make a declaration of occupancy status. So every single household, in Toronto will have to make a declaration of their household, whether it's vacant or not. The goal is to increase the housing supply and discouraging owners from leaving their residences unoccupied. So they don't want people to leave an empty house. If you choose to be vacant, you'll be subject to the tax. And that's fine, that's your choice, but just know the information. This won't apply to principal residences of an owner. So if you're living in your home, it won't apply to you. Permitted occupant or tenant living there. So if you gave somebody permission or you have a paid tenant in your house, it won't apply. And then there's some that are qualified for exemption. There's a whole list on the website there. Revenues collected from this tax will be allocated towards affordable housing initiatives. So their plan is to take that money and create more housing or fund more housing. Each Toronto resident has to declare, and how you do it is you use your 21-digit assessment roll number or ARN number from your property tax report, and you declare it online. The tax will be 1% of the current value assessment, which I believe is the MPAC assessment, but that has to be verified. I think they'll use the MPAC assessment because I don't know how they're going to go with a market assessment that's going to change constantly, and how can they prove that? So so that's for the new vacant home tax. So if you didn't hear of it before, now you have. And then as far as the market goes, they've been 7, as you've heard from David earlier. We've had 7 rate hikes in the last year, from 0.25 to 4.25. There have been record declines month over month. Another rate hike will be announced on January 25th. TREB reported a 31.4% decrease month over month sales for December 2022. The average price dropped as well by 2.6% and now sits at just over $1 million and 51,216. And the 4th consecutive month of declining sales and the 2nd consecutive month of declining average price. So what can we expect in 2023? Things have been kind of leveling off. And so I think we can expect inventory levels to rise, given more, which will give more choice and result in more sales, of course. And we should see a more balanced market as we are seeing now. So we've been seeing a little bit of a leveling off in the last few months, and they expect that the same thing will continue to happen as we go forward. And, maybe with another one or two small or medium rate hikes, we don't know. So if anybody has questions about the market or questions about your property or other properties or investing, always happy to chat. No pressure. Love to share information. Please reach out to me. I always make time for you. So looking forward to chatting with you.
All right. Thank you, Randy. Appreciate it, my friend.
Thank you.
Yes, Randy Goodman. 10 times, not one time, the 10 times #1 best international seller, by the way. Proud to know her, somebody who is happy to help you and really mean help. And that's very important for you to know. Moving forward, a little disclaimer about our presentation. It's illegal to operate a broker, real estate broker, or security without a proper license. It's illegal to charge a funder fee. It's perfectly legal to buy and sell your own property or assign the property. By the way, make sure you get a proper advice from a lawyer. And we have a lawyer online tonight too, if you're happy to answer any of your questions. So what exactly is happening in the market? Let's talk about it quickly. Before you go any further, a little word of wisdom. I always love this word, ikigai. Make sure if you have a business of real estate, is that what you love? You're really good at it. And you are getting very well paid for it, and the universe needs it. Right now, every Canadian homeowner who is in trouble need your help. Can you please help them? Can you please put an answer yes in the Q&A? Just put the word yes and yes. I am ready to help. I will help fellow Canadians. If you can put that in the chat, that will be great. Or put in the question answer period, please. Just put yes, yes, yes. That's important for us, even when we have a small number of investors, but we can do all the wonders though. So what exactly is 2023? There are all kinds of laws. I'm going to walk you through very quickly. These laws are coming from the federal, provincial, municipal. How do they affect you? And how you can take advantage of these laws. These laws we all have to follow. There's no gray area, black and white, but we have experts who can help us to move forward with these deals. So Canada closed the door for foreign home buyers for a period of 2 years, starting January 1st, 2023. But there are some restrictions. And there are some exceptions, and we can work with both. Now, more or less what they're saying is starting January 1st, 2023, if you are not a Canadian or by resident or PR, you are not allowed to buy a property for the period of 2 years. This is the law. Now, here are these a little bit more information about it. The prohibition will stay for 2 years. Existing agreement will not be impacted. It will not apply to Canadian citizens, PR, people holding PR, companies incorporated in Canada that are not controlled by Canadians. The sales will not be impacted. And people who are helping these people could be fined up to $10,000 if they are trying to do something. What are the exemptions? You're a Canadian citizen, PR, doesn't apply. International students who have been living in Canada for the last 5 years, and they're allowed to buy property up to $500,000. Workers who have been filed tax returns are allowed to buy properties. Diplomats, consular staff, members of international organizations living in Canada are allowed. Temporary resident status, refugees are allowed to buy. Here is something exceptions. If you're a foreigner, you can still buy properties in Canada, provided there are 3 units. They're recreational properties, they're cottages, cabins, and other vacation properties though. And these things are important for you to know. There are a lot of foreign investors. You might have to deal with them. And it's okay, as long as you're aware of the law. Next thing, there is going to be a tax called underused housing tax. This is by the federal. This is to release all those properties which are owned by non-resident owners of Canada so that they make sure they allow the inventory to come in the market, to rent it out, and also they pay the fair amount of taxes. That is perfectly okay with most of us. Anti-flipping taxes, this is going to be something they just want to tax it. It has been there from day one for majority of investors, but some of investors are still doing it wrong. Please get a proper education. Who pay capital gains? Now, the only exemption we have in Canada, if it's your principal residence and you've been living there for more than 12 months, any gain you have is exempted from any kind of taxes. But what is not, if you buy a piece of property and sell it for less than 12 months of period in Canada, there are some 8 exceptions. Then you will not be charged. Otherwise, there'll be a business tax. It's not a capital gains. And there may be an implementation of HST. So those who are speculators are going to get the heat. They're going to pay taxes as business income, and they also have to pay a huge amount of money on HST. And those who are sophisticated investors like yourself, you already set up for this. You have a proper CPA in your hand, you have proper information within you, and you're good. Otherwise, lack of knowledge is going to cost you a lot more money. Flipping housing assignment sales, this is something which I mentioned. In case you buy a piece of property and you have to sell in less than 12 months and you have some gains, as long as the situation arises because of there's a death in the family, there's a divorce, safety, sickness, disability, relocation due to education, employment, bankruptcy, or a few other items, then you will not be taxed. These are exceptions. If you bought a piece of property and you have to resell it, and you're reselling it for less than 12 months, more or less, these are for anti-flippers. But those people who are like us, who are wholesalers, we understand the law, and we have been following the same law before this law even came into existence, though. New account is called tax-free first home savings account, FHSA. You can contribute up to $40,000 in your lifetime. Minimum is about $8,000 in 1 year, starting in April 1st, 2023. This is exactly more or less the same way as TFS in a way. You have to be resident of Canada, 18 years of age, first-time buyer. You never own a property that you live in your principal residence. And this is going to be good news for some buyers because it's going to force them to save up to $40,000. There is something new I call sandwich families, and they call multi-generational home renovation tax credit. So if you are going to fix your property for the purpose of a family member who's a senior over the age of 65, or an adult with a disability, anybody over the age of 18 plus, and you are providing accommodation for them and you're renovating your property, you can get $7,500 a tax credit. It's not a refund, it's a tax credit only. It's starting January 1st, 2023. If you're a first-time home buyer, now this thing incentive is gone up to $1,500 now. Before that, it was $750 though. Next thing, protection for Ontario condo purchasers. This is the new law. Again, it's strictly for province of Ontario. Any condo project you invest money in, and if this thing doesn't go, the builder will have to pay the interest rate based upon Bank of Canada rate. So this will apply to anything which you're selling from now or January 1st, 2023. This is the new law. This new law also in BC. This is called cooling off period. If you're in BC, you want to buy a piece of property, you have 3 days. It's called protection period, but this comes with a few strings attached. What are the strings? I'm gonna give you information more about it. Now, City of Toronto also introduced a vacant home tax, which is 1%. Now, this is a little bit sophisticated. Everybody is got a notice, and you have to find a declaration online, and you must do it before February 2nd. This is just next month or so. Any property sitting empty for more than 6 months, they're subject to vacancy tax, but there are few exceptions, by the way. More information is toronto.ca, just you can Google it. How does it work? If there are some exceptions, by the way, the fines are from $250 to $10,000 plus 1% of the current assessment value. Now, there are exceptions if there's a death in the family, if the house is under repairs, if there is if the principal residence in the hospital or in a coma, they bought the property in last year, or they're just using it as an home office. Now, there are some exceptions, just be aware of it. Those who have piece of property, you must register yourself, otherwise you'll be fined $250, by the way. So what people are saying about real estate, what are they expecting? So these are the people who are saying, okay, you know what? We need to know what's going to happen in 2023. So Canadian Real Estate Association, they are saying, hey, they are saying there's not enough homes in the market for sale, which is absolutely right. They say the sales may gonna cool down, but they're hoping they may gonna run flat. On the other hand, Royal LePage has a different outlook altogether. They are saying there will be deepest decline in home prices, by the way. And based upon their information, it's different ball game. Now, if you talk to RE/MAX, they are saying more regular pace as economic conditions stabilize in the second half of the 2023. And when you talk to TD Bank, they are saying the prices may gonna go further down. Now, today, RBC have made a very strong statement, but at the same time, they're saying the prices could drop further by 14% from the peak. Again, these are all the projections based upon their economics. And if you talk about Fitch ratings, they are saying because of affordability, there is definitely going to be a decline about 15%. So if you're buying a piece of property, and keep in mind that your property value may drop by 15%. Keep in mind. And if you're buying it far below 15% of the current market value, you might be okay. But if you utilize the terminology called stinky offers, you might be able to make a lot more money on the deal. And we are expecting the overnight rate, to rise again. In my opinion, it could be quarter to half point, but a lot of people are pushing or banking on a quarter point. We will see on January 25th. These are some projections, and everybody have an opinion. The reason I want to show it to you, because these are large companies, they have their own economists, they have done their own studies, and there's a full report. I only just shared 1 or 2 lines with you just to get an idea how people are talking about real estate though. The 2 things I want to talk to you tonight. I want you to share your thoughts, how to invest your RSP and TFSA in Canadian real estate. We'll be doing a special presentation for those who are interested in investing their RSP and TFSA. If you are interested, just send me a text message. We'll be happy to. And yeah, we are also open for joint ventures and fractional ownership. We have few deals. If you want to participate in the deals, or if you have a deal, somebody else wants to participate, they can come in as part owner, a fractional ownership. Fraction ownership is going to be the name of the game for next 10 to 20 or 30 years though. People can afford it. It's very difficult to qualify. And this is going to become a new fashion. Joint ventures. So if you want to learn more about it, we'll be teaching it pretty soon, and make sure you attend every meeting. It'll be every second Tuesday, 7 to 9 p.m. though. Here is another topic. And I want you to pay a lot of attention, please. This is going to be something very, very powerful for you for the next 3 to 5 years, starting tonight or starting February 2022. So what exactly is forced home sales? What does that mean? How do you benefit from it? Well, this is a struggle for majority of the Canadians. How many Canadians? If I say 10 million Canadians, I might be not saying too much, too far, but these are the opinion based upon different experts. I'll be happy to share with you. So what is happening? People are struggling with interest payment, mortgage payments, inflation, uncertainty. The values are dropping and the mortgage payments are going up. In Canada, most of us have 3-year or 5-year mortgages. We don't have 30-year mortgages. It's like US. Are we expecting the interest rate to come down? How long will it take? People may not have enough savings. So let's look into it, dive into it. And the purpose of this is more or less an education, a strategy for investments. It's very powerful. And if you want to implement it in your life, you could be making a lot of money in this market. Investors always buy property at discounted prices. Investors know what to go for it. If you keep in mind, if the market value drop by 20%, I'm okay, or 30%, I'm okay. If interest rate rise another 2%, I'm okay. These are called stress tests. And we should all do stress test upon yourself. Hey, if everything goes up, am I able to survive? Or do I have other options? What are option A, B, and C? Moving forward with this thing, forced home sales in Canada, who are the most affected people? When the mortgage payments are going to be up dramatically. People in the age of 18 to 34, people from 35 to 54, people from 55 plus. Kind of still scary, but it is what it is, and we have to take it with a grain of salt. Why? Facts. Facts are okay. We should be aware of all the facts, though. This information came from ray.ca. Thank you for providing us. How much concern are they? What is the highest concern level? And if you notice that, as the people are the middle age class, 35 to 54, are the more concerned. They have limited amount of income. Moving forward, this is some of the feedback. Canadian, the fixed rate mortgages, they're terrified at the high interest rate. 53% Canadian homeowners are concerned. And this is saying that it's very painful, even including for those people with variable mortgages. So people are squeezed between rising rates and falling home prices. That's Colin Butler from CBC News. Painful, but somehow there's truth. Now, people are feeling the heat, especially if you're a variable mortgage, you have to change it, increase it. And from 1.5 to 5.5, it hurts. All of a sudden, your payments for 3,000, now it's 5,000. You may not have extra 2,000 spare every month. So what are the options available for them? Talk to people like David Grossman. Talk to people like Randy Goodman. Or talk to people like Jerry Hogenhout. Or maybe talk to other investors. There are always solutions to each problem, though. So this spikes, I call these are super ridiculous amount of spikes we had last year. Are they going to come? Are the low interest going to come back? Not in my opinion, for a long time to come. People who bought on the peak are feeling it. And there's going to be a lot of inventory, which we call default. People who are going to be forced to file bankruptcies. They may gonna face power sales, foreclosures, or many other ways. They have to sell these properties, though. Now, there are a few people that are still waiting. They say, oh, maybe things will come around. Oh, the price won't drop any further. There are some sort of assurance, oh, there are new immigrants coming in, 1.5 new Canadians coming in, jobs are doing fantastic. But how about the wages? Are you qualified? Can you really carry a house? Everything is good. Lack of supply means what? The prices won't go down as much. They may gonna rebound. But that's not good news if the rate is 7%. There may not be enough buyers for us. So keep all these things in mind, and this is what is happening in the market. So this is a for sale across Canada, and there are prices which have dropped all across Canada, by the way. Each market intend to be different. Just be aware of it. There are exceptions. A lot of realtors will jump and, oh, no, my property didn't sell. Okay, that's the exception. There are a few pockets where property value have retained its value. There is some sort of appreciation. And you give them facts about Milton and Oakville, the property value have dropped by $478,000. That's a ridiculous amount of money, isn't it? $478,000. That's average drop. Yike. So just be aware of it. We have to look at the figures as a whole and just be aware what is happening in the market. But opportunities are great there. Average house price drop in Toronto quite a bit as well. And these are the prices which are dropping since March 2022. We are aware to some degree. I think these are the same things. And there's something else I'd like to bring attention tonight to you. We have new version of all Canadian real estate grants, business grants, as well as your credit. One of the humble request I have tonight for all of you, keep your credit rate or beacon score high. Please do not miss a payment. Make a minimum payment. Make an arrangement. Talk to your lender. Make an arrangement for skip a payment, even though it's expensive. But you do not want to ruin your credit. So these are books that are available tonight. They're only for $4.99 plus HST. Just thought I should make an offer tonight before you go. So we are cash buyer. We are junkies. We love to buy properties. We like to buy tons of properties every year. But we have a certain way of doing it. If you know somebody who needs to sell, we end up buying it. We'll be happy to pay you a good chunk of finder fees. So here's something else you should be also know. This information is only for fun part of it. What is happening in 2023? What you should be looking into it. Your strategies of last year or the year before will not work. You need brand new strategies. You have to adapt to new environment. So we have a bunch of events coming up this year, and I'm going to share some of the events with you. Most of you will be interested in attending all of them, but we shall see. Lack of information, lack of knowledge, it means lack of money, period. That's very simple. So we have coaching continues going on. Our coaching programs are done slightly differently than other coaching programs. We provide you leads. We want you to work on the real deal. It's that simple. We want you to start working on the real deal. Deal with the devil, eyeball to eyeball, belly to belly. Coachings are done in the field, and that's how much fun we have. Those who are interested in apprenticeship program, or you have a brand new apprenticeship program, by the way, these programs are done very differently than ever done before. We hired consultants, and they said everything what you have done was not right. Okay, what does that mean? Well, they're saying that if you give too much information too quickly, people can't handle it. You have to give them bits and pieces. So we came up with a new program called the apprenticeship program. Those who are interested, please text me. We'll be happy to share information with you. Here are the red flags. Are you ready for the red flags in 2023? Opportunities, endless opportunities here. There will be 31,000 to 32 condos will be ready in Toronto. 19,000 in the first half, and the rest of them others. And they are issues. 10% of them or more will have a difficulty to close these deals. People are leaving and want to walk away with their deposit. And this is going to open up a new flood gate. 32 condos will be ready. Even though this is good in one way for rentals, but there are a lot of investors, if they end up buying it, rent it out, they're going to run into negative cash flow. We are going to definitely have a shortage for a long time to come when it comes to housing. It's perfect time to own a lot of rental properties. It's perfectly okay to do house hacking. It's okay to have a positive cash flow properties. But if you don't, that's a different ball game. That puts you in a distressed situation though. So just be aware of it, that these things are coming up and you might be gonna getting calls. Hey, listen, can you help me out? So here is kind of a bad news in my opinion, but again, everybody have the different way of looking at it. The new report says about 4% Canadians are falling behind their mortgage payments. Yikes, 4%. That's a huge number. It's really too huge. So in simple language, our 2 million homeowners in Ontario are subject to financial disruptions, and they could be facing what they'll be facing, power of sale. And what we're gonna do, how can we help these people though? So we're gonna have a one-day training in Toronto. Those that are interested, just send me a text message about power of sale. Again, I said earlier, this will be attended by lawyers, real estate lawyers, mortgage brokers, realtors, investors, and how do you make a profit in it? It is a quite in-depth training with a lot of different strategies. And there are a lot of things which people do not know, that their rights are violated. Homeowners have a lot of rights. A property even goes under power of sale or foreclosure does not mean the lender can do whatever they want. They have to follow the rules, regulations, and they have to make sure there's no overcharging, there's no penalties. So all these things will be cleared in form of the law of the land, what the law says, how it is implemented, how the process works, what triggers power of sale. Power of sale is not triggered only because of missing a mortgage payment. There are many different reasons your property can go under power of sale. So be aware of it. It's one-day training, just thought I should introduce you. We have masterclass, again, how to find distressed properties on this coming Tuesday, which is next Tuesday. Those who got the tickets, excellent. Those who don't, get your ticket before sold out. We only train a handful of people. And usually this thing gets pre-sold every time we do it. Every time we do it, it gets pre-sold. And people beg at the last minute, can you get me in? Can you get me in? They have to wait a month or two before they can get in. Our field training, as some of you might have heard about it, this is very powerful way of learning. 3 ways of learning. You can read about it and you forget about it. You hear about it, you still forget. But what you say, it stays with you for a very long time. I'm from the old school. I hate reading books. I hate listening. But I like to see things with my own bare naked eyes, hands-on, real deals, real people. Take me in the court. Take me to the auction. I want to see it. I want to feel it. The gentleman right here has been doing auctioning for 57 long years and known for 40 years. Why it is so important if you want to be a professional investor. You want to gain real life experience, not the stories. They're exaggerated. what they meant, what you heard are totally different. Just a suggestion for you. Hey, listen and listen carefully though. This is something most of you don't realize that you might have a lien against you. It's called super priority lien. Is anybody aware of it? In the meantime, while we are here, I'm going to ask some of you, if you have any questions, you can ask any questions you like as we speak them. And you can post any question you have in the question answer period as we speak. Our consultants have changed everything what we used to do before. Things are different, a lot more effective, a lot more efficient. And you will see dramatic changes that you spend a lot less time to learn more and earn more. Is that okay with you? Earn and learn more in a lot less effective way is the name of the game. Any question anybody have, well, welcome to ask. Before even you choose a partner, make sure you do the proper due diligence though. It's important that you do. I also like to bring on, if I can, if it is, I'd like to bring a special guest here tonight, but I don't believe he is available, or he might be able to speak here tonight. Because even though he was mentioned to speak tonight, Mr. Mangat, are you able to talk here? All right, moving forward, the next meeting is going to be again second Tuesday every month. And I want to sincerely want to thank you. Those who have any questions, you're welcome to ask any questions you like though. Any questions? And the question is asked by Pete. How do you find for trouble owners? Well, there's a masterclass on January 17th, next Tuesday. There are about 20 different techniques or strategies to find all those deeply disturbed, distress owners. And there's one word of wisdom for you. The word is very simple. Make sure you're buying a property from a distressed owner than a distressed property itself. Distressed property needs repairs. It means more time, more money. Could be more profit. But at the same time, if you buy directly from distressed owner, the property does not need repair, does not need any further expenses from you, and that can be very helpful. Anybody have any other questions? Please feel free tonight to ask, because we are supposed to finish this meeting in an hour and a half instead of 2 hours. So we have a few more minutes to go. Any more questions? There's a question asked by Donna. Is the best way to save taxes is to acquire the parents' home before they pass away? Yes and no. That question shall be answered by Jerry. Jerry, are you there, sir?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I'm glad to jump in on that one.
All right.
Yeah, 100%. So acquiring a parent, there's a couple of things. You're either buying the house from the parent in order to live in the house. So if that's the case, there would be a sale. And if the parents have been living in it all their time, throughout the all time, as Nav had mentioned, we have what we call a principal residence exemption, which means you could buy the house from your parent. It's a sale for your parent, but there would be no tax, assuming it's a principal residence. So that makes a lot of sense. When you look at acquiring a parent's home from an estate planning point of view, it makes a lot of sense. Okay, we do this a lot with estate planning when there's an aging parent and their health might be deteriorating. Understand this: any asset that is owned individually by anybody goes through their estate, and when it goes through their estate, it will be governed by their will. And when it goes through the estate, it will be subject to a probate tax. And a probate tax can be anywhere around 1.5% of the value. So if you've got $1 million house that your parents own and it's going to be willed to you, if it goes through their estate, which means they are the only owner on the property, you'll be paying $15,000 to $20,000 in probate fees. A good strategy is to put somebody on title with the parent, because anything that is jointly held does not go through your estate, is not governed by your will, and is not subject to probate tax. So very, very good strategy to, from an estate planning point of view, to put somebody else's name along with your parent on that house. You can either leave the parent on the house or you can just take them off title if that is the intention. So great question. And it's an area that people need to pay more attention to, the whole transferring, the intergenerational transfer of assets from parents to children. We see it a lot. A lot of money can be saved if things are done, such as you're suggesting, that you put a name on title. So, thanks.
Excellent. So thank you, Jerry. That's one of the beautiful strategy Jerry shared with you. If you have older parents, if you can get on the ownership as another before, when they're alive and something happens, it's much, much better. Probation is not pleasant. Going through a will is not very pleasant, by the way, those who have gone through it. The next question is asked by somebody, anonymous attendees. How do I get commission or a finder fee? Realtors, mortgage brokers, or even lawyers pay they call it gift. Real estate investors will pay you a finder fee or referral fees, and they will issue you, and they will get an invoice from you. And it's a good way of doing business. Make sure that anybody you're dealing with, there are some restrictions for realtors, who they can pay, who they cannot pay. But as long as investors are concerned, it is more or less wide open, but you still need to get a legal advice on it. Anytime you're getting legal advice, please get in writing. Does that answer your question, sir or ma'am? We'll take one more question before we wrap up tonight. Our wrap-up time is 8:30, not 9 anymore. We'll take one more question. You have the phone numbers. You can even send a text message if you don't want to type it. We'll be happy to answer it for you right now.
Now, there's a question there, if you want me to jump on that, about
Would you please go ahead?
selling the property. So the question is, so being put on title doesn't mean they are selling the property to the child. So basically what happens is when you add somebody to title, the Income Tax Act says there is a deemed disposition, i.e. a sale. However, we can override that provision of the Tax Act if we can convince CRA that the only reason we're putting somebody on title is for estate planning purposes. Okay, so step one is, yeah, you put somebody on title, there's a deemed sale, a deemed disposition. And when I say deemed disposition, it means it's a sale for tax purposes that we need to put on the tax return and deal with any applicable taxes. Again, if it's a principal residence, there's no taxes. but we can override that provision if we take the position that we're simply putting someone on title in order to deal with the intergenerational transfer of assets through an estate. Okay, thanks for that question.
Thanks, Rochelle. Thank you for asking question. Thank you, Jerry. We're going to take one more question because I know we're a little bit over time, but we started a little late. So we will allow another 5 more minutes because to start at 7:08, it should be done in 90 minutes or less. What is the minimum amount of partake as a fraction ownership in a deal? Good question, Ahmed. This is all depends upon the other party. There are companies who are asking you to even participate with the $1 or $2 only. Depends exactly what do you want, what is your comfort level, and why do you want to be a fraction owner. So you have to have well-defined answer for yourself. Why do you want to participate to begin with? Fraction ownership is great if you have, let's say, RSP money or TFSA, it doesn't belong to you, it belongs to somebody else. Or you have some capital, which is HELOC or your line of credit, you want to invest, but you do not want to manage it. Majority of people want to come into fraction ownership simply because they do not have time to manage it. They do not want to run day-to-day operations. They don't want to know who the property manager is. They just want to take the tax benefits and all the benefits only. They just want to invest money and forget about it for 5 years or 10 years or 2 years. Fraction ownership is great for sometimes new buyers. Their two friends want to buy a house together or investment property together. That could be good. Majority of the people are doing fractional ownership in two different ways. Number one are investors. Number two are first-time home buyers. And they just get together the friends, 2, 3, 4 of them, so they can qualify and get the deal done. I hope this answers your question, Ahmed. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Question. This question is about a tenant. What can we do if there's a flood in the condo caused by others, plugged in toilet? Well, this is a very different type of question, Donna. I would love to bring a lawyer next month or month after. How does the leaky condos, leaky basements, how they are covered, and who become responsible for if there is a leakage on 54th floor and the water start dipping all the way to the first floor? Who do you sue? What does the law say? And what do the paralegal have to say? And what the insurance company have to say to get away from it, though? Donna will be definitely addressing this question within a next meeting or so. And if it is a tenanted property, is a tenant responsible? Is it landlord responsible? Is it condo corporation? Does condo corporation insurance have enough in it that it will cover? Or they're gonna make a unit holder or condo holder responsible? There's one more question for you. If you do fractional ownership, are you creating a corporation between all the parties? Yes and no. You could create a corporation or you can become partners. This thing will be answered either by your CPA or the real estate lawyer. Based upon each time, your circumstances can be different. Please make sure you get advice in writing. You want to talk to Jerry? That's perfect. Jerry Hoganhout can advise you. And you want to talk to Gurpreet Mangat? He's a lawyer. He's online tonight as well. These are the people who can give you professional advice instead of opinion from people like ourselves, though. I hope that answers your question. Can I send a notice of rent increase to the tenant by email as long as rent agrees to receive notice and document by email? Well, this will be, again, a legal question. We will bring a paralegal for you next month or so. And then we can have a very special session about Landlord and Tenancy Act in Ontario. How does it work? and what you should be careful. Again, these are very sticky questions, which must be answered by professionals only. And those professionals who have proper education and knowledge and experience though. I hope you understand that. I want to say thank you to everybody for attending tonight. I sincerely want to wish you all the best. Those who have any questions, please feel free to text us. And we'll wrap up the meeting right here tonight. Thank you so much, everybody, and good night, everyone.